Alright, this is a body mechanics class. My name's Ben Validus. I'm from CK. I have lots of credentials, which we will not go into currently. We're running a little late. I'm running on, I don't know, T-minus 2 hours of sleep over the past 2 days, so bear with me just a little bit. You watch me get out of the car. We're going to start basically ground up. This is how your body works, how you can manipulate it into shots, how you can manipulate that into fighting more efficiently. And that translates roughly into faster, harder, cleaner. We're going to start real quick with footwork. What's the one thing that every warlord will say is most important?
Keep moving. Okay. Stay on the balls of your feet.
Footwork is what everybody says is key. I will clarify that a little and say controlling your distance is what's going to win you the fight. So on equal ground of talent, whoever's controlling the distance will win. This is real easy. I'm a C-rank saber fencer. Nationally, I've done all kinds of stuff. I was a collegiate pole vaulter. Footwork's real fucking easy. How old are you?
37.
How long have you been able to walk? Do you fall on your ass on a regular basis?
Oh, yeah.
Do that. Don't fall down. Okay. This should be real casual. You should be able to walk around and not be able to fall down. This is what you practice every day of your life. Don't worry about doing fancy things. When you get into other things, when you do a lunge, all lunges is not falling on your ass. Okay. Relax. A lot of people, the first thing we do is freeze up. We're not doing that, okay? Anytime I tell you to move somewhere, you can casually walk there. If you need to get there faster, you can casually go faster there, okay? I do not run anywhere. I jog ass or mosey on over, because I don't want to fall on my ass. That is dumb. That will get you killed, okay? From there, the next thing is how we're holding our weapons, okay? This is a neat little drill that we use. One of the neat little sayings that I use is from, I use a couple texts. One of them is Moyo Dobo Tanji, which is a Korean thing. One of the sayings that's translated roughly is, if you hold a bird too tightly, you'll kill it. If you hold it too loosely, it'll fly away. And this is used for sword fighting, obviously. It actually holds very true. I'm going to pass this around real quick. And if you just play with this a little bit, it'll work with this too. Just hold a real tight fist. Hold it. Just let it whip. You'll notice it keeps moving. Okay? If you let go, it stops and comes right back to you. This is really an important part of your sword fighting, is your grip. Okay? If you walk around and you're tense all the time, this also works in the tension and relaxation in your muscles in your forearm. A tense muscle cannot move as fast as a relaxed muscle. Okay? So just play with this a little bit. It'll demonstrate. This will not teach you shit, but it'll let you be a little bit cognizant of what's going on in your body. When you hold this and just whip it around, just relax it. It'll pop right into place. Okay, this comes into play mainly when I'm doing single sword. Sometimes this will come into play in other things. This is really something that just makes you aware of your body. The more aware of your body while you're fighting you are, the better it's going to translate into all of your styles. A lot of people say, get good at one thing and you'll be able to translate it to other things. This is kind of how. You spend a lot of time in practice learning things, putting it in muscle memory, and therefore you can translate the movements. This is something that's very subtle that is often overlooked. Alright, so the idea from any shot, every single application that I'm going to teach you today can be used in full or in part. Most of y'all come from IM, it sounds like, and are used to this part. Okay, I'm from most Oregon people are as well. You can take any single portion off of a shot and still have the same effect. You're going to lose power first off, and then you're going to lose speed second off. Okay, accuracy is usually going to stay about the same, regardless of how you're giving it out there. All your shots are going to stem from the centripetal motion of your body. Okay, that's starting from the ground, from the feet that we just said we're not going to run around and dance like fools like Harry does and falls on his ass. It's funny, and we like to make fun of him. We're going to plant our feet and move into something. Okay, our first centripetal motion is rotating right along our hip axis. Okay, if we all take our chin and put it on our shoulders, okay, and point our shoulder towards someone else, we'll notice that our hips don't have to move here. Okay, we still have rotation to turn around. Okay, we're looking to actually move the hips autonomously from our shoulders. So if we move just the hips, okay, this is where our power is going to come from. When we wind up, it's horrible garb to do this, but it's kind of cold. When we wind up, we want to cock the hips back without moving our stance and our shoulders. No matter what weapon combination we have. If we're single sword, okay, if we're Florentine, if we're sword and shield, if we're polearm even, we want to move and then move into something. I don't know your name. Come here. Drop your stuff.
Gotcha.
I don't know. All right. Here. Oh, turn. Look at this. Put your hand on my shoulder. Push me. Okay. See how he's leaning? Push me again. Okay. Rotate your hips when you do it. So instead of pushing this way, just put a little turn. Is that a lot easier?
Yeah.
Okay. This is where all your power is going to generate. This is also going to translate into a lot of speed. Okay. This is a centripetal rotation around your central axes. Like I said a minute ago, something I like to quote is called the Moyo-dobu Tanji. It's a Korean manuscript from, I believe, the 17th century. I'm probably getting that wrong. I'm glad it's on film, getting it wrong. But one of the verses says that you should stand like your head is suspended from a string. There's also some texts that are Japanese that are saying that you should have a pole running through your body. That's also something else I'll start with. So after this hip rotation, we have the shoulder rotation. Like I said, anytime you take something off of a rotation, what's up, man? Anytime you take something off of this process, you're decreasing your energy and speed from something. This is the first place most am guarders will lose momentum, is in their abdominal muscles using their shoulders. Okay? When you throw this, you'll notice my shoulders fall back. This is tightening up. If this arm comes up towards here, if everybody picks up whatever they got, pulls it back, you'll feel the shoulder tighten up right in here. Okay? This is your muscle in between your pectoral and delt here, basically impacting itself and not giving you any room. We're trying to make it not a shock absorber. Anytime you have play here, you can move up to it and it'll act as a shock absorber. So what you want is to pull this back and you'll feel this tighten. When I teach newbies this, I take your sword, put it on your opposite shoulder. You can feel that same kind of stretch there. What this is going to do, it's going to take out this play of, well, I can push my hips, but nothing's happening still. Because that's not your shot. This is your shot, okay? So from here, you can feel this tightening up here. If you tighten your abs, you'll notice that this rotation, your shoulders should move in unison with the hips, okay? You can also, it's the same way we just did this with our arms, you can also force this by rotating the hip, and you feel that shoulder can't move anymore. This is pretty limited, but when you're teaching somebody, this will help because they can still throw the same shot by overextending. This does not work very well for women. If you're teaching it this way with women, teach them with their sore foot forwards and have them turn the opposite direction. Their hips will, since they're strung on the sides, the bones in here will bind just because of their natural physiology. So in case any of y'all have female fighters that are training things, that's good to know. So basically, we are moving an entire shot from our toes. We are starting here, rotating through, and then accelerating the sword. Okay, from here, there's 3 different types of shots that we're throwing. There's a couple more actually later, but they're not involved in any type of centripetal motion. They're more stabs, and we'll get into that a little bit later too. You have 3 basic shots. Okay, your straight shot. Everybody knows and loves. Straight. Just your straight shot. You're throwing a wrap. Oh. There we go. There's your straight shot. Straight in. Hips are here. Rotate. Extend. Okay. What is the fastest way to get from point A to point B, Chuck?
Straight line.
Straight line. That's what we're looking to do here. We are looking to extend our hand in a straight line towards our opponent. Okay? We are not swinging out. What am I calling this? This is your centripetal motion. What happens if you increase your lever arm?
Slows down.
It slows your rotation down. So what we're trying to do is keeping this all tight around our body. So we're rotating around and letting it come out in a straight fashion towards our opponent. This is a straight shot. Don't ever fucking throw this shot. It is not very useful unless they are wide open and doing just madness, okay? It is useful if you're coming straight down on somebody, but that's a different type of shot. We'll cover it in a little bit. It's the same idea though. You're rotating and you're extending straight through. the two basic shots that everyone knows, should know, and should get very, very good at are two wraps. Okay, we have a flat wrap and a reflexive wrap. Okay, our first one, which, do it again. Okay, for your hips. Okay, you notice he's coming around, the arm extends, and if done in, this is why I actually have this. If done correctly, here, switch sides. If done correctly, the arm should extend, and as soon as the wrist straightens up, the barrel of your arm is even with your sword, it should roll around this axis. This is, like I said, in a vacuum and in perfect conditions, this is how you lose the least amount of energy from your shot. So when it extends, it rolls around, and it continues the motion in the tip of your sword. All the energy is put into the tip of your sword, and then it carries through. So when you actually hit someone, all the energy is delivered into this person. Okay, that's the first one. Most of the IM people here will use this second one much more, because this first one is a lot more powerful. People will bitch, people will whine, and it's very effective actually. I don't know why people bitch and moan, but the next one is a reflexive. Exact same thing. You're starting with your hips, you're pushing them forward, you're extending your shot. As soon as it reaches this area where everything is straight, it rolls over, but instead of delivering all the energy to your opponent, you're stalling this hand and bringing it back towards yourself. Okay, so that instead of accelerating the tip of the sword by not having this one central axis, but having the second rotation, accelerate it, you're pulling it backwards and thereby shortening your lever arm, just speeding the shot up. You're losing the power from the tip of your sword, but you're gaining the acceleration, adding power into your opponent. Okay, is that clear? Yes? No? All right. We're good. So we're working for two shots here. Into our opponent and back from our opponent. Okay, we're about to go to trees. Some people don't like destroying trees. Some people don't care. Every park I've been to, like last year they made a little stink. Every park I've been to that has had wild animals say, deers eat bark, bears claw trees. So if you feel real bad, come talk to me and we'll have a little thing to the side and you don't have to
telephone poles around.
Do that. When you start putting something in your hand that's this heavy, you can no longer just flick it around. This is not an ultralight sword. This is, my swords weigh about a pound. This is not something that, I use in SCA. That's a fucking heavy SCA sword at 2 pounds and 11 ounces. Okay, this is 5 pounds and 4 ounces. Okay, when you're no longer in control of your body, it will very quickly tell you that something is fucking wrong and I don't want to be treated this way. Okay, start out slowly. Okay, start with this shot, rotate and extend. Okay, when you get this extension, you'll very quickly go, oh, okay, that kind of feels good. Or, oh, there's a twinge in my elbow. If there's a twinge in your elbow, you're letting your wrist come undone. You're letting it bend downwards. Okay, or you're hitting the tree with a bent wrist and still trying to force it after the fact. Okay, if you hit it, you just let it go, you let it clip back, you're not going to have any problems. You're going to notice it's not a very solid shot. We'll fix that in a minute. Okay. When we start doing the rotations, we're looking to extend and then rotate around. You will very, very quickly, this one, especially when we start rotating, notice either your wrist, elbow, and shoulder. Are those conveniently the places everyone blows out in AmGuard first? Those are conveniently the places everyone blows out in AmGuard first. One of these, you're not going to hurt yourself here. These are degenerative problems. These are not, wow, I just hit somebody really hard and broke it. This is, I'm throwing an improper shot, and over time, just like golfer's elbow or tennis elbow, you're creating a debilitating syndrome, I guess. I forget what the exact description of this is, but you're using your body in an improper manner. So this will show you very quickly, my body doesn't like that, I need to change it. Usually the most common problem is if you over-rotate, you rotate too early, your sword has to continue on while you're moving to hit the item. When that happens, usually your wrist is jarred backwards. That's usually going to hurt your wrist. Okay? If you rotate too late, you can hit the item, and it'll either bend your wrist backwards, and if you try and push it, it'll hyperextend this I forget the name of the ligament. Why isn't Randy here to help me with all the names? He's my physiology guy. He reminds me of everything. So I guess let's find some trees and get some shots in. Kids that watch Disney at some point, my favorite thing is called Lambert the Sheepish Lion. Okay, have anyone seen that but me? You've seen it? All right.
The whole story.
Right, he brings the little babies.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
he delivers a lion to a sheep, a flock of lambs, and the mother doesn't want to get rid of it. So he grows up the ugly duckling in this group of sheep who, basically headbutt him and make fun of him and, taunt the fool out of this guy. He's got some bad self-esteem issues. But one day, this wolf comes and starts attacking their flock, and he goes, "Oh yeah, I'm a fucking lion!" And he kicks the shit out of all of them, and it's a great story. Whee! Okay. This will not work for you. If your timing is off, it will feel weird and funky, and it won't feel good until something in you pops, and you go, "Oh, that felt great," and you just pop, and it'll work, okay? It's not gonna happen right now. Occasionally I'll have a student out of, I don't know, what I have 40, 50 each year at SKBC. I might have one who goes, "That feels so much better." And that's about it. Okay, this is something that you have to work on. I like the pipes because I like heavy, big things that, scare people. This will also work on the back of your couch. If you have a couch that you can get behind, and you work on this downward wrap. Okay, just hitting the front side of your couch. If you have a bean bag, you can haul off and hit the fool out of it. I say haul off because if you don't want to use the pipes, you can use a sword. Okay? When I said your body has to get out of control, if you swing as hard and fast as you can pay attention to it, kind of, not as well. I like this because this also slows your body down, so you can watch what you're doing. Okay, we're going to do this right-handed for a little bit, and then switch hands. And it's going to suck for everybody, including me. Okay? What you're having to do is translate to the other side of your brain and teach yourself how to do it. Okay? So you need to just watch this arm as you unchamber it, as it rolls around, and as it actually hits the tree and or pole. So that in a minute you can do it with your other hand. Okay? Rotate at the hip, extend as straight as possible, rotate it around, either pull back or deliver the energy into the opponent tree, beanbag. Why didn't you love me, Daddy? It doesn't matter. Okay. Like I said, if you want to do this with swords, you can do it on something that's soft, your friend, whatever. It's kind of hard to pay attention since, like I said, when you start going out of control, when you do it fast, it's just harder to see. I mean, it's kind of common sense. I don't want to explain that any further. Let's find a tree, and I will try and get to everybody as quickly as possible. Anybody else notice? What did you tell me a minute ago?
Without changing any velocity or anything, I could tell when I got the shot right, because suddenly I was noticing the impact was much more solid. I was hitting harder. You could hear it on the tree when you're hitting it. It's just when everything clicked, the couple of times it was like, the impact was probably twice as much as what it was when it was wrong.
Anybody else feel that a little bit?
Yeah.
All right. Yay! I'm not full of shit. Let's switch hands. Okay, to start with, we are not whacking the tree yet. Okay, we all love whacking the tree. Let's put a good block on it. Probably over there where I can have it. Okay, start your shot here. Okay, we all know we're starting here. If we need to get a chamber coming around and extending this arm as flat as possible. Okay, what we're doing is starting right here, and we're using this hip, pulling it backwards to start this motion using your hand as the pivot. So here, we're using a nice pop. Okay, this is slow if you're not used to doing it. Okay, just right here, my arm is straight. Okay, and I'm just using the hip to pull backwards. Okay, this is called reflexive motion. Anybody who's done Northern Chinese style karate or like Taekwondo uses this as well for your back stance blocks. Okay, extend and pull backwards. Okay, go to our trees, find a new person, hit them. I was going to address this real quick because I'm having a bunch of people have this problem. When we do the wrap, there's a couple things that have been issues. One, if you rotate over like this, you're still rotating the correct muscles around the correct axis. But when this isn't flat, you're going to start getting torque on your elbow when you hit something. Okay, this is what we call golfer's elbow. Okay, when you pull back, And this when you start getting your whole forearm basically bend this way while your arm is in motion, this is when you get golfer's elbow. It's not a happy thing on your tendons. Let's try not to do that. Okay? If you overextend when you're doing it, you get pull on the back. That's what we call tennis elbow. That's something else we don't like. These are tendon issues, and just like carpal tunnel, they're degenerative, and it doesn't happen because you throw something out really hard. It happens because you continually do it the wrong way. Okay, so these are a couple issues that we want to fix before we go back to our trees. Okay. Also, when we throw any of these shots, we want to extend and then traverse a straight line. Okay. Something I say is like if you have a table. Just imagine a table is right here, where you extend, that table's right at the bottom of your hand, and you want to rotate the sword along this table in a flat line. I kind of flat, everybody.
So
The other thing is a lot of the timing. Most people are hitting and then rotating. That's, like I said, it's something you have to work on. It's not easy. That's why we have big poles here. I guess let's go back to the trees. Everybody I'll try and get the rest of the people that I've missed so far from about there on. And like I said, work on the reflexive snap. Start here and rotate it backwards. This is a motion with your hips. Okay, this is a rotation where you extend the shot and then you rotate the exact opposite way. We're going to do follow-throughs in a second, returns. Right now, just continue in that rotation. Try not to move the elbow in. Just keep it out, extend, rotate, and pull the elbow straight. What were you going to ask?
Does the hip pullback come after you've struck, basically?
The hip pullback is what
that's what delivers the power into the person.
makes the rotation happen at all.
I'll be your tree.
Okay. So when you move your arm up,
All right.
when you extend, you want to just move the elbow like that. When you start to rotate, you just want to rotate away from the target. Okay. This is the original shot. You're putting all your energy in. Here, you're taking all your energy away from it. Like I said, you're not delivering the energy, you're not delivering all the momentum into your opponent, you're delivering all the momentum quickly near your opponent, and then changing the angle of rotation.
Like cracking a whip.
Exactly.
You're making the snap. Yeah.
That's all you're doing. My elbow's moving as little as possible. Right there.